Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to the Moving Toward Better podcast. I'm your host, Karen Bemis from movingtowardbetter.com and KE Bemis Consulting, and I'm here to help you live your best life, powered by your unique and amazing personality. Hello, my lovelies. Today, we're talking about ditching the golden rule and replacing it with the platinum rule. Those of us in the personality realm know the platinum rule is far more powerful and is the secret of many of the most successful people in history. For those who are new to the podcast, I am in the personality realm, and I use the DISC personality system, which includes the driven, inspired, supportive, and cautious personalities, also known as D, I, S, and C. We'll dive a little deeper into that in a bit. But before, let's get started by talking about the golden rule. If you don't know what the golden rule is, it is not the notion that those who have the gold make the rules, although it seems like that sometimes, doesn't it? The golden rule, how most people learned it, is the idea that you treat people the same way you want to be treated. And that idea has been around for a very long time. I decided to look at the history of the golden rule, and it goes back at least as far as ancient Egypt, whose version was, that which you hate to be done to you, do not do to another. Kind of hard to say, actually. There are similar references in ancient India, Greece, Persia, and Rome. Then there are the world's religions. 5 centuries before Christ, Confucius set forth his own golden rule. Do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. And according to Rushworth Kidder, an American author, ethicist, and professor who founded the Institute for Global Ethics, the golden rule appears prominently in Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Taoism, and forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, I have tried several times to do it correctly, Zoroastrianism, I hope I got that right, and the rest of the world's major religions. It figures so prominently in our collective consciousness that in 1993, 143 leaders of the world's major faiths endorsed the golden rule as part of a declaration toward a global ethic. And philosopher Simon Blackburn also states that the golden rule can be found in some form in almost every ethical tradition, not just in religious tradition. But is that the way that we should be living? Because the platinum rule teaches us to treat others the way they want to be treated. Think about that for a minute. What if everyone started treating you the way you want to be treated? How would that change your life? Sounds kind of amazing, doesn't it? But when we think about treating everyone else the way they want to be treated, that's a lot to take in because we don't know how everyone wants to be treated. But what if that could be easier? I'm going to help you unpack that a little bit and see if we can make the whole idea of the platinum rule easier by leaning into this idea. If you're outgoing, you'll start to be aware of people who are more reserved, and you stop trying to make them be more social, more driven, and you get to understand the benefits of their quieter and more methodical way of being. If you're people-oriented, you become more aware of how stressful socializing can be for task-oriented people when they have work to do. And you can prevent a lot of resentment by merely asking people if it's a good time to chat. It can be as simple as that. The thing about the golden rule is that it assumes that others like what you like and that they should live like you live. And that sets you up for resistance and misunderstanding, except for the few people in the world who are just like you. The platinum rule, however, encourages you to understand others, to learn from people who are different than you, and be respectful of others' differences, which can lead to deeper, more understanding relationships with everybody. Now, I want to take this to the next level by looking at each of the DISC personality types using this same information. Stick with me here because this is really cool when we get into it. Let's start with our outgoing and task-oriented driven personality. The D personality is someone who is almost always doing something. If someone is what we call a high D, it's like they don't have an off switch. If they treat others like they want to be treated, there are going to be a lot of hurt feelings because the D personality really is not concerned with them. They're often in a hurry and they find details boring. Most of the time, they don't intend to be mean, although that's how others can perceive them because they get right to the point so they can get on to the next thing. They have things to do and people to see. And if they don't take others' needs into account, people can feel bulldozed by them because they have this very energetic and direct approach to everything. The driven personality is a go-getter and they get things done, which is awesome in so many situations. But the thing is, some people need fun in their lives. Some need support. Some need reliable information. And that is not something the D personality excels at. For them, fun is checking things off a list. Criticism is support because they eat criticism for breakfast. And reliable information is someone else's job. It doesn't have to be that way. And I know many people with a D personality that use the best of their personality and use the platinum rule to keep from alienating others in the process. Moving on to the outgoing and people-loving I personality. You are a bundle of fun. You make every gathering easier because you can talk to anyone and make them feel welcome. Or can you? As much as you love people, sometimes you overlook that while you lean into conversations and relationships, other people need a bit more or a lot more time and space than you do to open up and be BFFs. Also, when it comes to planning, you are great at flying by the seat of your pants, and sometimes that works out for you, but sometimes it doesn't, especially if you find yourself working several nights in a row to finish a project or get ready for an event because you failed to cover your bases where the details are concerned. If you treat others the way you want to be treated, the driven personality may want to strangle you because they're much more serious about life than you are. The S personality might hide from you because you're so chatty. And the C personality may ignore you completely because your outgoing nature completely overwhelms them. You wish they would lighten up, and they wish you would quiet down. When you follow the platinum rule, you keep your conversation with the D personality on point and short, and they love you for that. You slow your pace a bit for the S personality and let them know how much you appreciate them. And they feel like they can breathe around you. You respect the C personality's need for solitude and details. So you keep your stories short and realistic and remember to ask before you start chatting if it's a good time. Then they will all like you more, which will make you happier than anything. For the dear, reserved, people-oriented, and supportive S personality, the golden rule means you're always so kind and appreciative of others, and you cannot imagine what could possibly be wrong with that. And there isn't anything wrong with that. But sometimes the D personality needs you to speed up a little bit. The I personality needs you to lighten up. And the C personality needs you to pay attention to details. That doesn't mean they don't like you just the way you are. It means that sometimes they need to fill their own cup their own way, and it has nothing to do with you as a person. Instead, you can look at this as a new way to support those you care about. And you don't have to step too far out of your comfort zone to make a difference for you and for them. When you're dealing with a D personality, being brief and to the point is so helpful to them. When you're dealing with an I personality, you can be the kindest personality when you enforce your boundaries and let them know you have commitments to keep, and you may have to repeat yourself because they truly might not get it the first time. And they won't dislike you for repeating yourself, I promise. When you're dealing with a C personality, admire their ability to share details, and you will be friends for life. That way, you can still be yourself and know that you're still supporting others at the same time. And they will appreciate you more than ever, too. Moving on to the reserved and task-oriented C personality. You are the one who loves the details, and the golden rule for you means giving people lots of information. In some cases, that's exactly what's needed. In others, it's too much for some people. For the D personality, if they're up against a deadline, listening to details for them is agitating. And there's a good chance they'll cut you short. Not because they dislike your information, but because they have other priorities at the moment. For the I personality, they will tune out when they get to their detail threshold, leaving both of you frustrated. They don't mean to be disrespectful. They truly cannot process the amount of information you're giving them, and they don't know how to stop the flow. The S personality will probably listen patiently, but they might avoid you in the future. That doesn't mean that your work isn't important. It absolutely is, but not everyone is as excited about the details as you are. Using the platinum rule for you means you give the D personality exactly what they need without giving them a complete rundown of what you've done. You do the same with the I personality, knowing they would never have been able to do what you've done, and they will let you know how much they appreciate your work as long as they don't have to dive into the details with you. With the S personality, they will appreciate you the most when you give them your excellent work so that each of you can help the other look better. While you sometimes feel like the unsung hero who does so much research and gathers so much information, your work does matter for those who need to know those details. And you are an important part of the team, as are the people who present, sell, and support the team. So if you've been around a while, you know that I'm an outgoing, people-oriented soul. I love people, and I love being social, and I'm married to a reserved, task-oriented man who I adore. For him, I've learned to appreciate slowing down and completing tasks. From me, he's learned that sometimes good enough is good enough. He tells me when he needs to check out, and I tell him when I need a listening ear. It's why, with my reserved children, I learned to tone down my natural happy-go-lucky self in the morning and not overwhelm them before they've even left the house for the day. It's made all of us better people to not only understand ourselves, but also each other and the newer members of our family as they join. These people that I raised, that I'm married to, are why I learned about DISC and why I created a business to help others learn more about it too. In your home, learning about DISC helps you apply the platinum rule to empower your children to become the best version of them possible, instead of a terrible copy of you or their other parent. In your primary relationships, It helps you understand that while you complement each other beautifully when you're happy and in balance, you may have completely different needs when you're upset and feeling unbalanced. It helps you extend grace to the ones you love most. And if it does that at home, imagine how much it can help you with your work, in your business. You can understand that difficult coworker or client. You can get inside the head of your customers and really find out what they want. And who doesn't want that? So if you're ready to learn more, go to kebemis.com. Join our mailing list. When you do, you're going to get an offer to take your own assessment at the lowest price I offer. And that includes not just an assessment, but a one-on-one follow-up coaching call with me. So get on that email list, book your assessment, and start becoming the mom, the partner, and the businesswoman you aspire to be. Until next time, keep living your best life, powered by your amazing and unique personality. Love you all. At Moving Toward Better and K.E. Bemis Consulting, it's our mission to help you live your best life, powered by your unique and amazing personality. If you want to make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe to the podcast today and head over to kebemis.com to learn more about how amazing your personality is. That's kebemis.com. And if you missed that, check the show notes for the web address. As always, thanks for listening, thanks for being you, and have a great day. Love you all.